Hey troops, we're back ranking again, and we're going to be ranking all of Metallica's albums. Let's get ranking! The GAC mascot has joined us. The GAC mascot is here. Bobby with her toy. Right, Bobby, let's rank Metallica. Oh, here we are with the lovely tier maker tier list of tierness. I've separated it into, well, it started this. I just looked for Metallica things, and this is what came up, Metallica albums. So it does have all of the studio albums, including Garage Inc. and Lulu. That'll be interesting. And I just renamed the actual tiers just to make it more to my taste. So at the bottom, we've got Pants. Absolute garbage belongs there. Hopefully there won't be much down there. We shall see. Then we've got Meh. It's alright. Then we've got Decent, middle ground, average. Then you've got Great Stuff. Really great albums will go there. And then the best will be... only a select few will be in there, I'm sure. So, or maybe quite a lot. We don't know. I've done this because I think it'll be easy, but, we shall see. We shall see, Bobs. Won't we? Yeah, you're going to help me rank them. Right, so we start from the beginning. Kill 'Em All from 1983. Hey, it's amazing. Kill 'Em All is amazing. I immediately looked at best then, but I don't think I can put Kill 'Em All at the best. It is a solid album from start to finish, though, in all fairness. So it's easily... Oh, you're tired. It's easily great. High up in the great tier. I'm also going to try and sort of semi-rank them in where I position them in the tiers. So, and then we got a couple of easy ones, to be honest. Ride the Lightning. 1984's Ride the Lightning is the best. It is arguably the best. It is between that and I may as well just do it right now. Master of Puppets. And I'm going to do that. Because I've been thinking long and hard. I chop and change between the two of them. Which is the best Metallica album? It is one of either Master of Puppets or Ride the Lightning. Either one, if anyone says to me, my favourite album is Master of Puppets, my favourite album is Ride the Lightning, I'll be like, yeah, I don't blame you. They're both amazing. They're both amazing albums. They're arguably as good as each other. It just comes down to preference, taste. I think I'll always have a really soft spot for Ride the Lightning because Creeping Death is my favourite Metallica song of all time. One of my favourite songs just in general of all time. As well. But then Master of Puppets has got Master of Puppets, the title track. It's got Disposable Heroes. It's got Battery. It's got Damage Inc. And Justice for All is a great album. But it would probably be quite low down on the great list. Ooh, is that controversial? I think it is. I think a lot of people do really enjoy Justice, and Justice for All is an amazing album. I think there's a couple of lull moments in it in comparison with other Metallica albums. But it does have, amazing moments like One and Frayed Ends of Sanity. You're Tired. And Blackened, the title track, and Justice for All is one of my favourite songs. But yeah, it'll make its way down the great list, I'm sure. Then we got the Black Album, the most famous metal album of all time, arguably. 1991, great year for music and a great year for me because I was born. The Black Album is great. I don't know if I'd put it ahead of Justice, though, because apart from, it does have some really good songs. So you've got Enter Sandman, you've got Sad But True, you got Wherever I May Roam, The Unforgiven, Nothing Else Matters. There's some really good stuff on there. I probably would put it ahead of Justice. I don't know. But they're all in great. This is an easy video. This has been the easiest video I've had to do, Bobby. And I've got you with me to chill out. That's a first. Gack first. Now it gets very interesting. The first 5 albums, dead easy to rank. 2 are the best, 3 are great. Load is the first one that goes in. Decent. Load is decent. Load is, I think, at the time, in 1996, 5 years after the Black Album, I think people had very high expectations for this album. An album cover which is graced by blood and semen, which is like a legit thing, and that's disgusting. But there's just... They went through this like groove phase. They were trying to like incorporate more groove music to their metal and thrash. And sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. I still think there's some really good stuff on Load. One of my favourite songs, Bleeding Me, is on this album. The Outlaw Torn ends this album. Another really good song. I just think most of it is just, it's alright. Just trying to think off the top of my head. There's more songs that I would happily skip than listen to on this album. And speaking of, Reload is a weaker version of Load. It's arguably my least favourite Metallica album. Like, pure studio Metallica album. But, like, when I listened to it the other day, like, sort of forced myself, which is a bad thing when I already have to force myself to listen to an album. There was some good stuff on it. There is some good stuff on it. But it's just... I don't know. There's just something about Load and Reload. But Load is better. I would happily say Load is better. There you go, dog. Then Garage Inc. I've never ranked Garage Inc. before. I don't tend to rank Garage Inc. because it's just cover songs. It's Metallica's cover album. I think there's a lot of alright stuff on Garage Inc. There's a lot of alright. And there's a lot of really good. So I would put it at great, but it would be low-end great. Because you've still got things like Whiskey in the Jar, which is amazing. Bread Fan. The Weight. Blitzkrieg. Turn the Page. There's a lot of really good covers on there, to be fair. But then there's just a lot that I'd happily skip through. Am I Evil's amazing. Pretty much all the Diamond Head songs are really good as well. And then the most split opinion. Is it really split opinion? I don't think it is split opinion, actually. That was an incorrect fact that came out of my mouth then. Everybody hates Saint Anger. Everybody hates it. I really like Saint Anger. I think Saint Anger is really good. People were very miffed at the time because it was a different sound. It was a different sort of sound to what they normally did. And there was no solos in it, which, Metallica are very well known and renowned for their solos. But yeah, I'm not too fussed about solos. I just like, catchy riffs, and I love James Hetfield's vocals, and obviously it's not his best work. It's none of the guys' best work, to be honest. But there's some really good stuff on there. Frantic's still really good. Saint Anger, the title track, is really good. Some Kind of Monster's really good. There's some really bum moments. I love Sweet Amber as well. There's some really bum moments like Purify, and Invisible Kid is about 4 minutes too long. But it's not a terrible song, it's just too long. All Within My Hands, there's a much better sort of mellowed out version that they do when they tend to do like acoustic nights and that every so often. And when they pull out All Within My Hands as an acoustic, it's really good. The actual song off Saint Anger, not so good. But it's... I'd probably put it... I have to actually look beyond my camera to see my TV, which this is on. It's really awkward at the minute, but, working on a budget here. I really don't know. I'll put Saint Anger... Yeah, I really have a problem with Reload, I really have a problem with Reload. Death Magnetic, this is where things are going to get interesting now, because I'm a huge fan of all the latest Metallica albums. So, maybe not all, I've seen one down there. Death Magnetic, I would put high and great. Yes, I am putting it above the Black Album and Justice. I really like Death Magnetic. I know it's got production issues. I know it, but I don't notice it. I honestly don't notice it. I really like the riffs on it. For a while, the opening track was one of my favourite songs. Arguably my favourite for a little bit. That was when I was really into Death Magnetic. It's still really good. The Day That Never Comes is one of their best songs ever. It's just a solid album, to be fair. Lulu, we just say pants and we ignore that. Pretend that didn't happen. And then we got Hardwired to Self-Destruct. Is another superb album. I love Hardwired. It's got one of the best openers, the title track, or it's just called Hardwired, and then the finisher, Spit Out the Bone is one of my favourite Metallica songs. There's some filler in between, but there's some really good stuff as well. I really like Hardwired. I'd even probably put it above Death Magnetic and just below Kill 'Em All. Kill 'Em All is just a better ensemble of songs, really. It's just a really great thrash album. Arguably the best debut album of anyone, any thrash band or any band. And then finally, 72 Seasons. I've been listening to it more and more since my initial first impressions. I obviously just pretty much said it's a very solid album in my first impressions. It's better than that, to be fair. The more and more you listen to it, the more and more you realise how good some of the songs are. 72 Seasons is probably my favourite song of the year, the title track. I absolutely love it. I just find it so catchy. All the songs that they released prior to the album coming out are really good. Room of Mirrors is like a sleeper hit on that album. It's like low key the best song on the album. It's really good. Inamorata, that I was a bit with in my first impressions, is amazing. The more you listen to it, the more you realise how good it is. Similar to what you have to do with a lot of Iron Maiden's longer stuff. You've got to just spend time listening to them, keep listening to them, and you realise how good they actually are. So 72 Seasons, and I would put it ahead of Hardwired and Death and the Black Album and Justice, just as a better package. Like, Justice has some amazing songs. Of course it has some amazing songs. But then things like I the Beholder, Let It Down for Me, I think Short of Straw is okay, Harvester's decent, To Live Is To Die is a bit overrated. There's little bits like that. Black Album's the same, there's a few lull moments in it. I don't think there's much lull in 72 Seasons. The only one I have an issue with, kind of, is Crown of Barbed Wire, because I keep thinking it's called Crown of Thorns, because isn't that what Jesus had? Whether it's like a reference or something, I don't know, but I keep thinking the song's called Crown of Thorns, but it's called Crown of Barbed Wire, and it's like sort of the most reloady sort of song on there. It's okay, but the rest is amazing. And that's that. Nice and simple. So we'll start from the bottom. Lulu is the only one in pants, because, whoa, you need to listen to that to realise how bad it is. And then there's nothing in meh. I don't think there's a single meh Metallica album. You've just got the decent ones, like Reload still has, Fuel, Memory Remains, Fixer, Low Man's Lyric, amazing songs. And then just a lot of in between. Saint Anger, it's a bit of a mess. The album needed to happen at the time. For Metallica, the album needed to happen, and watch the documentary to understand why. But it's a very good album. Load, just better version of Reload, basically. And then we go to Garage Inc., solid. Obviously weren't great. It's a solid covers album. And then you got Justice, and the Black Album, Death Magnetic, Hardwired Self-Destruct, the newest album, 72 Seasons, the very first album, Kill 'Em All. Amazing albums, all of them. And then there's only two that belong up at the best. And then it's just a decision. Which is the best one? Is it Ride the Lightning? Is it Master of Puppets? Mine changes every day. At the minute, it's Master of Puppets. That's my list, anyway. That's my list. Let me know what you guys think. Give me all the grief that you want. I'm expecting it. But even more so, let me know what you'd have. Don't tell me that I'm wrong or why I'm wrong. Just tell me what you'd have. And then we just all enjoy being big fans of Metallica and enjoy their music. So, thanks, troops. I shall see you all very soon. Ta-ra.